What is the deal with building strength versus building muscle? Now, let me take you on a quick history lesson, which included me being completely wrong on this as well. Back in the day, people used to think 1 to 5 reps is strength, 8 to 12 reps hypertrophy, and then endurance was 15 to 30 reps. So you could only build muscle in 8 to 12, and then strength you had to go super low. Now, I used to think this back in the day. This is not true. Now we know that you can build muscle across a wide range of reps, and this goes from 4 reps, 5 reps, all the way up to 30. So when a set of 5 reps is taken to failure, meaning you cannot perform any more reps, and it's compared to a set of 30 reps doing the same thing, a lighter weight taken to failure, very similar levels of muscle are built between these two scenarios. So where do we fall in this, and how do we build strength and muscle? So how many reps should you be doing? We probably want to be landing somewhere in the middle between 5 and 30, but let me park that for a second. I'll get back to where I think you should land in reps later in the video. I'm first going to talk through how can there be people that lift crazy heavy weights that don't actually look like they lift. So what is the real difference between strength and training for building muscle? It's a couple of factors. So the first thing is, if you are a power lifter and you're training for strength, you'll see people that are basically trying to move the weight from A to B as quick as possible. So if you're someone that doesn't weigh very much and you're training for strength, you'll see people arcing their back on a bench press, and that's because they're trying to shorten the distance the bar has to travel from A to B. They've got a super heavy weight for a 1 rep max, a 2 rep max, and they just need to get the weight from A to B as quick as possible. And so you're going to try and make that as easy as possible for yourself. If you're training for bodybuilding and seeing changes in shape, you need more tension applied to the muscle. So you have to have more control in your reps, and it needs to be performed with a slow lowering phase. So if you're training for building muscle, you want to be driving up on the way up, so fast contraction velocity on the way up, and then you are controlling the lowering phase, and you can think of this as keeping tension on the muscles to extend that lowering phase. Whereas if you're training for strength, you are just going to go bang like this, A to B, and you're not really bothered about if you drop the weight as much, and it doesn't need to be as slow a lowering phase. So if you're doing the powerlifting style of things, because you're just going from A to B really fast, there's less tension on the muscles. Yes, you're still going to build muscle in these lower rep ranges, so you can still build some muscle in, you know, the 1 to 4 rep range, but it's just going to be potentially a bit less than if you're doing a heavy set of 5 reps, 6 reps. So because the powerlifters are going from A to B as quick as possible, and they're typically, if you're training for strength, you're doing less reps, so you'll be in a 1 to 3 rep range typically and working in those sort of schemes. That means that there's less reps accumulated that are effective for muscle growth. Whereas if you do a set of 5 reps with a more controlled lowering phase, then there is going to be 1, more tension on the muscles in each rep, and 2, you're giving yourself more opportunity to accumulate these effective reps for building muscle. And it's thought that there are about 5 reps possible in terms of effective reps in each set for maximizing muscle growth. Coming back to the rep range discussion, so if we know that you can build strength across a wider rep range, across lower to higher reps, and we know that you can build muscle from anywhere around 3 to 4 reps up to 30, what is the sweet spot if you are watching this and you want to build strength and muscle? Well, progressive overload is the way that we're going to build muscle over time, which is increasing the weights over time. Effectively, you can think of building strength in the gym as a proxy for indicating that you're building muscle. So I think the sweet spot on your big exercises like squats, deadlifts, chest press, rows, pull downs, pull-ups, all of these big movements, which are called compound exercises, meaning multiple muscle groups are involved, I think the sweet spot is 4 to 8 reps. You can go up to 10 if you really want, but the more reps you do on these complex movements, which are difficult to execute, the more fatigue you are accumulating. So if we can add reps per set and then keep adding small increments in weight to the bar or to the apparatus that you're using in the gym for these big exercises, staying in that 4 to 8 range means that you're managing your recovery because you're not knackering yourself out doing 20-30 reps. You're not going to be shattered from those, from doing, you know, if you did a set of 20 reps on a back squat or a deadlift, you could fry your lower back and just be so fatigued and tired. Whereas if you're doing a set of 4 to 8 reps, I think that's less likely to happen, and you're probably going to continue to progress a bit more. If you want to throw in some higher rep sets for variety on the smaller movements, you know, it may be just because you get bored of doing 4 to 8 reps. That is a genuine, you know, concern with your training. You do want it to be interesting. So if you want to do 10 reps, 15 reps, or go a bit higher on smaller movements, isolation exercises, things like bicep curls, triceps, that's absolutely fine, and you want to keep your training interesting. But on the bigger movements, if you want to build strength and muscle mass, keep the reps slightly lower in the 4 to 8 range, 10 if you really want, and I think you're going to see quicker progression. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe if you're new to the channel for more simple fat loss and muscle building tips. Drop a comment if you've got any questions on this, if you want to hand with anything else, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much.